Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lex Levinrad, and on today's episode I want to talk to you guys about finding wholesale deals. Alright, so if you're a new real estate investor, then one of the things that's the most challenging for you is understanding the concepts of how real estate works in general and how wholesale real estate differs to regular retail real estate. So I'm going to break that down for you right now and show you the differences. So first off, let's talk about retail real estate. So retail real estate is what you're probably familiar with if you've ever owned a home, and essentially that involves buying a property with a mortgage and having an appraisal and a survey and a mortgage broker, and usually there's going to be a real estate agent for the buyer and there's going to be a real estate agent for the seller. That's retail real estate. So with wholesale real estate, there's no appraisal, there's no mortgage, there's no survey, there's no real estate agent. So that's the main difference, right? So the question is, how can that be, right? You're used to seeing real estate where it's on the MLS and there's an agent involved. And the answer is something called a motivated seller. And the largest entity that's a motivated seller would be banks that are liquidating bank-owned properties and REOs, as well as short sales and foreclosures and pre-foreclosures. In addition to that, there's a different type of motivated seller, and that is the individual. Alright, so the individual motivated seller is a little bit different, and this is what we call to direct to seller in this business, and that's where someone needs to sell a property. Typically they need to sell it quickly because they're very motivated to sell, and they typically do not want to use a real estate agent. So what scenario would cause somebody to want to sell a property fast and not use a real estate agent? Well, let's look at a couple of examples. Number one, let's say there's a property that has some kind of damage. So it could be fire damage, hurricane damage, tornado damage, smoke damage, electrical damage, water damage, flood damage. It doesn't really matter what kind of damage it is, but for whatever reason, it's not the kind of property that can just be listed on the MLS. It needs to be fixed up. Something needs to be repaired in the property. So back in 2004, when I started real estate in Florida, we bought a lot of hurricane damaged properties that were exactly like this, right? So that's your first type of motivated seller, damaged properties. Your second type of motivated seller is what I will lump into the probate and inheritance bucket. So that's essentially where someone has died or passed away and somebody's inherited the property. There may have been a will or there may not have been a will, but they just want to get rid of the property and get cash and pay off their debts or pay off their credit cards, right? So I'll put into that category inheritance and probate, all right? So basically inherited properties. All right, your next category is going to be bank-owned properties, right? So these are going to be properties that are owned by the bank. They're REO, real estate owned by the bank. It could also be short sales, foreclosures, and pre-foreclosures. All right, the next category I'm going to call the need to sell category. And this is people that need to sell their property fast for a specific reason. So it could be because they just lost their job, or they're about to lose their job, or they went from being a 2-wage earner household to a 1-wage earner. It also could be because they got a relocation with their work and they have to sell a property in order to move to a different city and town and buy another property. So any kind of financial situation or life situations that's causing them to need to sell their house quickly. The next category I'm going to talk about is the aging category, and this is where somebody is at the age where they need to maybe move to a retirement home or assisted living facility. A lot of times the kids will contact companies like ours and see what we're willing to pay for their house to buy it as is. And the final category is going to be what I call the emergency category, and that's going to be where something urgently critical has happened. Maybe somebody's been arrested and they're in jail. Maybe somebody just died and they need to get rid of the house real quick for whatever reason. Not really our business to dig too deep into what that reason is, but they want cash fast for their house. And so those are all the different categories that you can have a motivated seller. Okay, now we've explained motivated sellers and we had 6 different categories. So now the question becomes, let's say you're a motivated seller, someone's a motivated seller, and they want to sell their property. Why can they not just list it with a real estate agent and sell it the way most people sell their homes? And the answer is pretty straightforward, because they cannot get a mortgage. In other words, let's go through those categories one by one. Damaged properties, you cannot get a mortgage because you cannot put insurance on the property, so therefore no insurance equals no mortgage. Second category, foreclosures, bank-owned properties, short sales. The bank wants a cash offer. They don't want to see if you can get approved for a mortgage. They want to sell it quick. They want it off their books, and they want a cash offer. With inherited properties and the need to sell properties, basically a lot of times someone has died, children are inheriting a property. Many times they can live in the other end of the country. They don't necessarily have a desire to get on a plane and fly over here and take care of everything. They just want to get rid of that house. And many times they will sell that house as is with all the contents, including all the furniture in the house. They just want a cash offer, and they want a cash offer now. And in the retirement and emergency categories, it's pretty similar. Either way, they are looking to get rid of a house. They don't want to pack up the furniture. They don't want to clean up the house. They don't want to paint or do anything. They just want an offer for the house as is with all the furniture included, and they want it to be cash. And they understand that that's going to be lower than what they would get if they listed it on the MLS. Okay, so now that we've broken down motivated sellers and why they would need to sell and what a wholesale price is, what a wholesale deal is, the question is, how does an investor like me take advantage of the situation or make money buying houses like this? So the way that we do it is we typically, when you're investing in real estate like this, you're buying from an individual and you're paying cash, and you're typically buying it at 70 cents on the dollar. So you're borrowing money from a private lender who can charge you 10, 11, 12% interest. And so in order for that to be worthwhile for you, you've got to buy the property with borrowed money and then fix it up and then be able to resell or rent it out and still make a profit. So for that reason, you have to be buying it right. And that in a nutshell is what wholesale real estate is and how it works. So every day in the United States, there are people that are dying, there's probates, there's inheritance, there's people in foreclosure, there's divorces, there's financial circumstances, life circumstances, death, disability, etc. that causes people to need to sell their house fast. And that's where we come in as real estate investors, where we buy houses like that and we borrow money, we fix them up. So that's wholesale real estate in a nutshell, right? You've got basically wholesale deals, motivated sellers, motivated to sell fast for cash, and then investors like me are going to come in there and buy these properties for 70 cents on the dollar, and sometimes we're going to borrow money from private lenders in order to do so, and we're going to fix up these houses, and we're either going to flip them or we're going to keep them as rental properties. And that is the essence of wholesale real estate. So if you want to learn more about how to do this, I really encourage you to check out my website at lexlevinrad.com. Click on the bootcamp tab at the top, and we've got a bunch of different boot camps. We've got a wholesaling boot camp, fix and flip boot camps, foreclosure boot camps, Airbnb boot camps, all designed to help you be a better real estate investor. All right, so I hope to see you at one of my upcoming events. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.